Midlands for our second helping of action tonight. Plymouth Argyle eager to put the disappointment of Saturday's defeat at Southend quickly behind them, but not an easy task in prospect. Walsall newly promoted to the First Division and looking to get off the mark after the weekend stalemate against Swindon. Commentary at the Bescot comes from John Helm.
Walsall find themselves in the unusual position of being the big club in this tie, and that's reflected in a lineup which includes Tony Daly, capped 7 times by England, and Gabi Bukran, a Hungarian under-21 international who made his debut last Saturday. Former Manchester United and Leicester City striker Mark Robins will also add experience and hopefully goals to Ray Graydon's options. Plymouth, beaten by 2 late goals at Southend in their opener, have plenty of experience in defence, but they look to a new strike force of 17-year-old Ian Stonebridge, signed on a free from Tottenham during the summer, and ex-Nottingham Forest player Paul McGregor. Tonight's referee, Peter Walton, hails from the delightful-sounding Long Buckby in Northamptonshire. So Plymouth in an unusual dark blue strip get the game underway on a lovely carpet of a pitch. But not a big crowd, it has to be said, but then Walsall had a home game here on Saturday and fans perhaps can't afford to come out twice in a week. Well, the ball went straight through to goalkeeper Walker. Now it's with the long-serving Chris Marsh. Good ball forward for Robins, headed on by Rack. And it breaks again, and Robins breasting the ball down for Darren Rack into the Plymouth area straight away and wins the first corner in the very first minute. Well, the one thing Plymouth won't want to do is to concede an early goal. It's a long journey up from Devon. And they haven't conceded it because Steve McCall brought into the side from the subs bench from the weekend in place of the injured full-back John Beswetherick. Got the ball away. Robins much to the fore, eager to impress. Now Tony Daly with that injection of pace that has always been his hallmark. Spins away for Poynton's cross ball in, and the header from Keats palmed away. Rammell tries to force it through, so does Rack, and a good stop there from Ken Vasey when Keats looked as though he might give Walsall that early advantage. Pointer down the line for Daly. The crowd always lifted when Tony Daly's in possession and charging forward as he is here now. And Daly will get there and keep this in, and there are 4 red shirts in the area. Good cross needed here, it's in towards Rammell. Flicked off the head and out for the goal kick from Andy Rammell, though he believes it should have been a corner kick. But the first exciting glimpse of the former England winger Daly, his pace unhinged the Plymouth defence. The cross wasn't a bad one. Robins on the chase. Oh, and Heathcote surrenders it for Darren Rack. The attempted centre well blocked by Leadbitter, and I'm sure he thought he was passing the ball to a colleague there, and that colleague turned out to be the referee, whose dark black is very similar to the dark blue of Plymouth Argyle. Stonebridge now really running at them here. Good play, Stonebridge, he goes on, and if he can finish this, that would have been an exceptional effort. But an encouraging run from the 17-year-old Ian Stonebridge. Now Walker has to make his first save of the evening. Well, nothing to choose between the sides at the moment. Poynton, another floater. Rammell coming in on this, to be put away by Leadbitter. Not the tallest man, Chris Leadbitter, but he's a gritty defender and gets up well here with a much taller man, Andy Rammell, to concede a corner, and a good job he did too. Barras at the back post, can't direct the header, but trails on after it. Hooks the ball back in here. And a drive, oh, and it's tucked wide by Robbins. When the ball was returned into the penalty area by Buckran, Mark Robbins was no more than 5 or 6 yards from goal, just outside the 6-yard area. McGregor able to turn and go for the shot. Fine move from Plymouth Argyle. The ball's progress was just checked by O'Sullivan, came back for McGregor. Watch this, lovely little ball. Now he just stabs it back to him and McGregor's shot flies wide of that right-hand upright. Well, the shout was for Darren Rack, who's got so much pace, he's in, and Darren Rack misses. Well, the slip by Heathcote, and they saw Darren Rack in with a golden opportunity. Heathcote's heart will have been pounding there. And will Darren Rack have a better opportunity tonight? Heathcote's slip let him in, and it was always going wide. Robbins, Keats, Rammel, Robbins, this is better. Rack wide. They need a good cross this time. Rack may still get a telling ball across here, in towards Andy Rammel. Missed by Daly, and that is a goal. And that is a superb strike from the Hungarian, Gabi Buckran. Well, it's a joyous moment for a player when he scores his first goal for a club. And Buckran has done it in only his second appearance for Walsall. Well, Darren Rack's tenacity paid off here. He pulled the ball back in. Andy Rammel did his job, and it was teed up nicely for Buckran, who smashes it wide of Vase's right hand. Walsall in front, 8 minutes before the break. Good play from Barras. Well, Hargreaves too strong for Rack. Two former Grimsby players together in contention there. Stonebridge, fine save indeed by Walker, who proves his value to Walsall once again. The player of the year last season, James Walker. This is why. It's a good turn by Stonebridge, and he just flings out his left hand and the fingers take the ball away for the corner. He's a very, very good goalkeeper, this chap. James Walker not missed a game in 2.5 seasons, and that is why. Great reflexes, but he's now going to face this corner kick. Oh, coming in and winning a clear header was Barrett. He scored on his debut at Southend on Saturday, his full debut, and he steals in here between Walsall defenders, and it's a clear and a punishing header, but it's over. Vivash now. And he picks out the wrong man and looks absolutely distraught as he has to charge back. That's when all the pre-season training pays off. McCall over the halfway line. McGregor and Stonebridge. Again, he's done well. And the deflection nearly took it in. McGregor might still get something here for Plymouth. Cross ball in. Hargreaves, and it has gone in. And although Hargreaves hit the shot, the ball was deflected in off Stonebridge, I fancy. Certainly have to have a look at that one again. But Plymouth are back in it, and how their fans are celebrating. And this, it was Stonebridge, that was one deflection. Walker did supremely well in the first instance to keep the ball out. And then when O'Sullivan crosses it back in, Hargreaves' first time, and it hits the back of Stonebridge and ends in the Walsall net. So he'll get the credit, though Hargreaves took much as well. pointers later. Good ball in. Daly, he's got Robbins in here for number 2, maybe. Fine save by Vasey when it looked as though Robbins was about to open his account as a Walsall player. Oh, that's a screamer from Buckram. Well, that was better than his first effort, apart from the fact that it was a foot wide. A very interesting interlude here. Mark Robbins seemed certain to be in there. A little curler. Fine stop from Vasey. Sullivan clatters it across there. And the enthusiastic McGregor wins it and floats one back in for Stonebridge. Super little header from Stonebridge, a foot wide though. But he's shown himself a very willing partner to McGregor. Excellent link-up from the 2 Argyle frontmen. McGregor's cross on the turn as well, and Stonebridge gets in ahead of Poynton. And Plymouth very close to being ahead for the first time. Once again Mavrak. It's Robbins looking to turn, he couldn't do that. The attentions of Heathcote just enough for Plymouth. And they've managed to release McGregor. Support arriving here, Stonebridge, he's into the area. Oh, and a fine save. We've seen high-quality goalkeeping at both ends this evening. And James Walker is called upon at least the 3rd time to make a top-quality save. Lovely ball from McGregor. Stonebridge with his first touch killed it, and he really hit that one well. Rowbotham there has had a catalogue of problems over the last couple of years with a cruciate injury that kept him out the best part of 2 seasons. Now that's a good ball to release Robbins. Rambles in the middle, and he's tried to chip in, and he's... Oh, that is a super goal. Now what a goal for your first for a new club. And that was the hallmark of a fine striker. But Mark Robbins, who's had a long wait since the days when he used to score regularly for Manchester United and Leicester City. He's had a long barren spell, including loan spells. But look at this. Does he look up? No, he doesn't. But he floated over Vasey, in off the far post, and Walsall have the lead back again. And it was the nutmeg, Mavrak on Rowbotham, that did the trick to start with. Was he looking for a cross? Was he looking for a goal? It matters not. Mark Robbins is off the mark for Walsall. While managers are concerned obviously about the results, I think Kevin Hodges will be delighted with the way his side has played. They're still playing well here. Stonebridge! Walker holds on. But for a cruel deflection, Walker would not have been beaten at all tonight. But Stonebridge, a man credited with the goal, tested him again. There's a halt here, which suggests there's going to be a change. And Andy Rammell is substituted, the third Walsall substitution. And it will see the arrival of another Icelander, Ziggy Eyjolfsson. Who was very, very popular here at the end of last season when he struck in the 3-1 win over Oldham, which guaranteed promotion. His only league goal so far. McCall still enjoying the game as much as ever, the player coach. To drift through for Stonebridge. And McCall pops it out wide for Hargreaves, intelligent. Plymouth have chances here. Sullivan now looking for who to cross it in. It's Hargreaves, and it's wide of the upright, but a delightful move from Plymouth Argyle, with Hargreaves really at the hub of it. Hargreaves, Sullivan, and the ball in, he spotted Hargreaves running in, and that was a lovely move that deserved better reward. Walker's boot dispatches the ball high inside the opposition half. Chances here, Poynton on well, stabs the ball wide, Eyolfsson scores! It's 3-1, and Ziggy Eyolfsson, the Icelander on the field no more than 5 minutes, has belted that one in past Vasey. Much of the credit to Neil Poynton though, the captain, the left back, 34 years of age now, shows great enterprise. Mavrak, look at Poynton going on, slipping the ball here, and Eyolfsson smashes it off Vasey's left hand into the net. And Walsall have a 2-goal cushion for the first time on the night. And Ziggy Eyolfsson, who scored in the victory over Oldham, which guaranteed promotion, scores again. McGregor. Still McGregor. Just too many there for him. Marsh to run it out. One man who was here 10 years ago and they last played at the high level. Here's Eyolfsson! What a substitution. Lovely ball from Robbins. Delightful finish from Eyolfsson. Sympathy for Plymouth Argyle. But it's 4-1 now, and Ziggy Eyolfsson has 2 goals in a matter of minutes. Marsh with the ball in, look at that from Robbins, just breasting the ball down, and then he plays it through, and Ziggy Eyolfsson beats Vasey for the second time. Vivash. Terrific passing again though, and Marsh is streaking forward, hoping that Rack will get the ball through to him. Said it comes for Eyolfsson! So close to a hat-trick. And he looks like making an impact on the First Division. Darren Rack picks him out, and this very tall Icelander is in for this in a flash, and he's unlucky not to register again. Smile of a successful player. Right, the final scoreline, a little flattering. Mark Robbins got on the score sheet late on, only to be upstaged by Ziggy Eyolfsson, who got 2 even after that. So Plymouth will feel a little hard done by. They contributed much to an exciting match, but they've a lot to do in the second leg to deny Walsall progress. Walsall lead 4-1 after the first leg.
Obviously I've got mixed emotions this evening because part of me, we performed very, very well. We're playing against the First Division side, and at times I thought we were very much on a par with them. We played some superb football, created a number of good chances, got the goal as well, and I was reasonably confident that we were going to take something back to home park. But you've got to play to the final whistle, and we let ourselves down badly in the dying 15 minutes. Perhaps we got a little bit overconfident because we did have quite a bit of possession, quite a bit of time on the ball, and in fairness we did play some good football. But perhaps we did get a bit overconfident, and that's where the second goal came from. Playing a little bit of tip-tappy football in our final third, and when you're playing against opposition of this level, if you give them a little inch, they're gonna punish you, and that's exactly what happened.
Ironically, that goal came exactly a minute after Chris Hargreaves put a header about a foot past the post.
Yes, we've had chances. Unfortunately, it's been the case for the last 2 games. Our game at Southend on Saturday, exactly the same thing happened. We were in the driving seat, we were on top, and we've created a couple of chances where we could have gone further ahead. Failed to do so, and then we've let one in at the other end, and the same thing happened tonight. But it's a learning process. Thank goodness it's early on in the season. and I'm confident if we can continue playing like that, then I think and hopefully somebody's going to get a backlash from it.
Well, you do have some very young players, don't you? And they tend to learn more from defeats like this one.
They certainly do, but at the same time, I want them to grow up very quickly, and in this game they have to do that. But in fairness to them, they've given me everything over the past 2 games. And as I said, if they can learn from these past 2 games and continue to play and work as hard as they have been, then there's no reason why we can't have a good season.
Argyle understandably disappointed then.